Hello, welcome to the Hypermobile Universe Head and Neck series. Today I am bringing you vestibular, very simple vestibular exercises, which I do include in my cervical instability clients exercise program. So we are going to start with the TheraBand over the top of the head. Hopefully you've already watched phase 1, at least before doing this video. I'm going to take the band back over the top of my head. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to face you and do these exercises, but you can be lying down if that's easier for you, or sitting. So these exercises can be done in all ways. I'm going to just give myself a little bit of pressure down with the band, and I'm going to think about that axial lengthening of my head up into the band. So I want to keep that cervical spine stable, and I also want to give myself proprioception. So when I do my eye movements, I'm not actually moving my head. So I'm just going to start looking straight forward, and I'm going to take my vision and my eye line as far as I can to the right without moving my head. And I'm going to bring it back to the center. And this is definitely much more of a challenge standing up. I'm going to do the same thing 3 times to the right and come back to the center. And I'm going to do it one more time and back to the center. And I'm now going to do this to the left. So I'm going to take my eyes to the left and come back to the center, and to the left and to the center, and from the left back to the center. I'm going to have a little rest in between, so I recommend you do this. And we're going to do some just little eyes up and down. So I'm going to hold on to my band, relaxing the shoulders, and I'm going to lift my eye line up without moving my head and bring it back to the center. And I'm going to take my eye line down. I'm not pushing my eyes. So I'm not overstretching anything. I am literally going to where I feel I can naturally stop the movement and come back to the center. And drawing that head down and back to the center. So that would be your initial exercises, vestibular exercises. I would probably start these lying down, then do that in a chair, and then progress them to standing with the band. I'm going to give you a slightly different version, which I also like, where you hold the band with one hand and you give yourself some visual input with your thumb. Now, if you're going to use your arm, then I need you to make sure you're not hyperextending your elbow, not over hyperextending your thumb, or having a wrist that drops. So we need to watch out for those arms. Keep a soft elbow, a soft thumb, and make sure that the wrist isn't drooping. We don't want to do that. So I've got the thumb in front of my eye line. I'm going to look at my thumbnail, and then I'm going to take the arm and my eye as far as I can to the right and bring it back to the center. And again, you're going to take it to the right and bring it back to the center. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to take it to the right and back to the center. And I'm going to bring that hand down and change to the other side. I'm going to take my left thumb forward, and I am going to take my eyes without rotating my head to the left and bring it back to the center, and to the left and bring it back to the center, and to the left and bring it back to the center, and bring it down. I like to add a little bit of movement onto this at the end, so I'm going to go ahead and just rotate with my thumb and try and control that head so that I'm not taking my head without my body as I rotate. I find this a little bit tricky because of my spinal fracture, but that's a nice exercise where you're not overturning your head. You can keep that visual input on the eye, and so you know that you're all turning everything together. From here, like we did before, we can add on progressions. So I would probably then go to my book like we did before in our phase 3 without the balance pad, so I can try and maintain the book on my head and do those vestibular exercises while maintaining that head position. So basically doing exactly what we just did with the TheraBand. And then in order to progress further, I'm going to go back onto my balance pad And I'm going to try all of this on my balance pad, where I am having to maintain my proprioceptive balance both down below and above, and then use my eyes on their own, looking up, down, and from side to side. And those are your vestibular exercises and challenges to help with stabilization of the cervical spine. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know in the comments. Let me know what your experiences are. If you liked it, then subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching.